One of them, I'm not so sure. But we can't sit in the box. There was a key for us early in the playoffs here in the first round. With their power play, we gotta just be more disciplined.
John, decisive in your checking. I assume you're talking about coverage down low there, as opposed to just sort of the grinding checking game.
Not just down low, just a number of different situations where we need to just make the decision and go with it, and not get caught in between.
John, this morning you talked about, obviously the layoff and having to, kind of get back into that playoff feeling, just kind of having to feel it. Is a game like this one, overtime, hard hitting, it snaps you right back into it, going forward?
Yeah, you saw our struggles in the first. We couldn't handle the tempo of the game, or we just weren't thinking quick enough. I don't know how you can get that. We just couldn't simulate that. So as far as trying to get ready, and you got that team that's coming on a high. But I think we slowly got about our business and found our game, and we just got to be ready to start the next game.
A couple of players mentioned that the key to this series may be sticking with the way that they want to play and not deviating. And maybe even you got away with that a couple times against Tampa Bay, believe it or not, in the first series. Do you find that as well as a challenge for you to stick with your checking and stick with the smart plays?
No, I don't think we're going to have a problem in believing that we need to do that. I just think, especially in the first, we weren't sharp thinking at all. As far as it was just too quick for us. But as we got the game going and played a number of good minutes as far as our checking and being above the puck and just being smart on how we play, we're not going to have a tough time believing how to play. It's a matter of executing when the game starts. Thank you.
Are you done with this one, sir?
Yeah, purple, I'm done.
Thank you.
You're welcome, man.
No, but you won't have too many TV.
Right, yeah, that's true.
Oh, yeah, no, I waited for someone to come up. Oh, this time of year also. My level's fucking out. Huh? On my level.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's okay. My tripod's a little off.
It took me about 25 years to figure out.
Oh, yeah.
The bubble don't last. It's the lines behind the gap.
Yeah, no kidding. Sometimes it sucks on the fly.
You guys can just wait for the mic before asking your questions. We'll open it right up. Go ahead, Ted.
Bruce, Charlie Coyle has the bad play on the leads to the Columbus goal, but then he rebounds well. What do you think of his game tonight?
I thought he was good. Obviously, it's not a play we were, at the time we wanted to go back. I thought in the second period we started doing a little bit of that, gave them some life by not keep playing north, playing behind them. But listen, all year we're a resilient group. We talk about focusing on the next shift, or if it's a bad game, the next game. I think the guys have been very good at that, trying to stay in the moment and moving on. Clearly he wanted to atone, and he did. Obviously Marcus made some great plays, but he had to finish them. So secondary scoring, something we need. We lacked at times this year. We seem to have found it now. It's really helped us. And the timing of it's been terrific. And he was a big part of that tonight. So very happy for him. He's a hard-working guy, and like I said, happy they got rewarded.
Tim?
Two trade deadline acquisitions, Hansen and Quayle obviously was there on the game winner. But what's that been like seeing their chemistry in person?
Well, it's starting to develop. Obviously, that second goal is a all-world play and ready to shot ready. Charlie, we've talked about Marcus, right? He had an injury here early with us. Then he had 6, so he hasn't had time to really develop a lot of that. Practice time's limited down at the end of the year, so he's got to do it on the fly. They all made a great play. If you go back to the start of it, Dant wins the puck on the wall. Charlie outlets to Marcus. He flips it out. Dant stays on side. So not only for a coach and any team that plays the way we do, we like to see offense being rewarded with good defensive play, good structure. So that's even that. It's great. Really a great video teaching point for young guys that come in here. How they were in good spots. They won a puck, and then your skill takes over at the other end.
Fluto? And then Dupont.
Bruce, on both those passes by Marcus, for him to be able to process what's coming next and to see Charlie available, what is he tapping into that he can make those plays?
Well, that's his vision, right? His hockey IQ. I think it's what's made him a good player over the years, right? He's got pace to his game. He can separate. Real good first stride. He actually shoots the puck very well. He hasn't done a lot of it here, but I think he's got a real good shot. But his vision, his passing is his go-to. So trying to find the right guys to play with. You saw it the first game with Krejci and DeBrusque. It was more of a line rush game. Playoffs, unfortunately, some of that goes away. But tonight he was there and he made the plays when he had to. So that's just a God-given ability to see the ice and have the timing to know where the guy's gonna, like a quarterback throwing to a receiver in motion, right? Where they're gonna be, where to put it in his wheelhouse. And then the last one, still got to get it under a stick, through a leg, to on his tape by Bobrovsky, who, as we saw, is very athletic with some of the saves he made tonight. So that one looked easy, like a simple backdoor pass, but I think he really had to thread it, and he did.
Dupes, third row to the left.
Bruce, I'm not sure. It looked like you lost Krejci earlier in that period in the OT, and then Heinen is on that line and not Wagner. What were the factors going into all that?
Kretsch left. He took a hit from Nash, and then they were looking at him it was late, I think late in the third. So going into overtime, we were short of forward. So Heinen goes up because just the domino effect. I think we double shifted Coyle the first time through, moved Pasta up. So I think he had
maybe DeBrusque and Heinen, and we had Wagner and Johansson, so it was just in between. It was just a little bit of moving the pieces around. We left the Corrali line together, and it was basically their turn at that time in overtime. We certainly looked for certain matchups, but again, it was just a product of being down a man.
Ty? And on that front, have you talked to Krejci yet? Is he going to be okay? What's your read on that so far?
I have not talked to him. He didn't finish the game. We saw that. I would rule him as day-to-day for now. First, someone said to me, "Oh, is he in pro?" No, he's not. It's not a concussion. He got hit. And he left the game. And by the time that he was available to come back, the game's over. So we'll see how he is in the morning. Hopefully, I have an update for you then if it's anything more serious than day-to-day.
Let's talk about significance of winning game one. I mean, you look at last series, you lost game one, still won the series, but sure nice to win game one, isn't it?
It is, because I thought we played well enough to win. I thought we were clearly the better team in the first period. The residual effect of, the emotional win in game 7, they had time off. That can go either way. Usually, it's hard to find your game when you have that much time up the intensity level. I believe it'll help them in the long run, obviously, with the rest. You get to heal. So we tried to take advantage of that early. I don't think they had much puck luck, to be honest with you, on the front of the net early. He made some big saves. They got some puck luck. We stuck with it. I think every game is important, but when you play well, and if we had not gone our way tonight, you're going to be a little hard on yourself, because one, we felt that maybe I don't want to say gave away, because that's disrespectful, but one, that we were the better team, you don't win, so those are always tough. But you said we lost game 1. We won the series against Toronto. Last year we won game 1 against Tampa, round 2. We didn't win the series. So for me, it's one game. You turn the page tomorrow, take the good, work on the bad, and hopefully you're ready to go for game 2 and be just as good.
And you talked about Charlie, but how cool for a hometown boy to get the game tying goal and then the game winning goal.
Well, his buddies is probably expecting to get a hat trick next game. That's the problem. But listen, he's got to be excited. He's been I think in Minnesota they didn't have much luck in terms of getting to the second round, so he's probably excited. He's advancing. Now you're at home. Now you're the hero of the game. So I think it's awesome. Good for him. Great story. Hopefully Wagner's next.
Sean?
Coach, over here, Coach. You used the word a few minutes ago, resilient, and we hear that a lot in the room as well. What is it about this team that has that resilience permeate through the room from game to game? As you said, went down 2-1 tonight. No one panicked. Just kept plugging away and had the confidence that it has.
I think it starts with our leadership group. You go back to their most successful season with that core group. They were down 2-0 at home to Vancouver. They came back. They won a Stanley Cup. They know what it takes. They know what it takes. It's not the end of the world to have things not go your way right away. You have to work hard to correct it, play the right way. So I credit it all to the guys in the room. As a staff, we've read off them, so we try to be the same way. Listen, of course you get upset if something doesn't go your way. When we're not playing the right way, then we move on. We address it. Hey, let's get back the way we need to play. And I just think it's the guys that go over the boards. They start that process again. Those guys that are going over the boards are generally the Bergies, the Kretches, the Charas, and then the guys that snowballs from there. They the rest of the soldiers kind of fall in line, and off you go.
Take 2 more.
Butch, kind of parlaying off of that, talking about the secondary scoring. 7 of the last 8 goals have come from those bottom 6 guys. So if those soldiers are doing those jobs, what does it do for those guys who are the leaders on the team?
Well, they're appreciative because it's a team game. At some point, we expect the Pasternaks, the DeBrusque, the guys that are scoring during the year, the wingers, they'll find their game, get going. Some of that's power play related. Usually that helps you, and tonight they had some good looks. That's where you hope that the balance comes later, because typically the secondary scoring aren't going to score every night. That's why they're secondary scorers, right? Because they're not guys that do it every night. So far they have, the last few. We talked about it here. I think any good Stanley Cup, caliber team has to have it at some point. We're getting it. We need it, and then, like I said, when the other guys fall into place, that's when you really become dangerous. And that's obviously our hope, is that the guys that were scoring during the year on a consistent level will get back to that level, and the secondary guys will pitch in when they need to. They're still doing. Look at the penalty kill tonight. Great job by those guys in the bottom of the line. Not only they scored, they killed there was a 50% power play going into this game for Columbus, and we killed every one. So they did a hell of a job in that area too. So not only did what they always do well, and they pitched in scoring. So good for us.
Thanks, everyone. Charlie Coyle and Tuukka Rask will be up shortly.
I can't even fucking my balance.
Questions for Tuukka?
Tuukka, 2 goals, bang, bang. Didn't really have much of a shot to stop either one, it looked like, so that make it easier to just shake them off.
You always try to just stay focused. It doesn't matter if it's your fault or not, or cheap goal or whatever. Right? You know, it's happened so many times this year. I feel like that we kind of got scored on. You know, not back-to-back shots, but like very, you know, quickly. And I think we know how to respond to that. We don't get rattled. I think, you know, we responded well after that. It didn't affect us. We came back and felt like, you know, we're going to get it back, and we did.
Hughes?
Tuukka, the second one, I assume, as he's unloading there, you feel you've got it. I mean, the first one's a deflection, but that second one from that distance looked like you've seen it and you're ready for it.
Yeah, I saw it, and it was going blocker side. I made a, you know, reacted to that shot, and I actually thought it hit Brandon's skate or something, but apparently it hit Dubois' ass. So, you know, it's one of those that happens. Shoot the puck, you know, kind of go in sometimes.
Charlie, pretty big night, scoring the game goal to tie it and the goal to win it. Just talk about your thoughts, your emotions.
Well, I had a costly turnover, third period. You can't have that during the game. I went to my teammates, went to this guy a lot more, so I'm just glad we, our line kept playing and got to go out there and redeem ourselves, and just happy to get the win after that, to be honest.
About the game winner, can you just talk about it?
Yeah, I think it just started D-zone, and we just made a good play to just get it out and pull the puck out, and it's hard on their D-man backing up like that. So I know made a great play. He got it. I was calling for it, actually, so thank God he looked me off and gave it to Joe, and we saw Joe in the first, or in the tying goal. Just an unreal pass, and he did it again. I'm just on the end of it.
What does that moment feel like?
It's like I was just relieved we got the win. I really didn't care who scored, to be honest. Like I said, I was at the end of it, but it's special. It's special personally, but it's all about the team here. Like you said, I was glad after that turnover just to get the win, no matter how we did it.
Yep, on the second one on the left.
Charlie, when you had that daydream as a kid growing up, where were you playing and who were you pretending to be?
I think we've all done that at one point or another when we were younger. I used to play street hockey outside my house, lived in a little cul-de-sac, so I used to either with friends or just by myself, and you always think about that stuff and play scenarios in your head and what it'd be like when you're older. And I think most of the time you envision yourself, you know, in the future, and I think we've all, I'm sure Toots could say the same thing, we've all done that. So, yeah, it'd be pretty cool to be living it.
Charlie, how do you see the chemistry just developing with you and Marcus? You haven't had a ton of time together, but what's that been like?
Yeah, it's sometimes it depends who you're with or how things click or don't click, and there's someone new, and we felt good on those plays, definitely. He's such a gifted player, and those passes are right on my stick and just tapping it in. But it's a work in progress, I think. It's something you can work on in practice and get some reps in there and get to know each other. And off the ice, too, get to know each other a little bit. And we carpooled to the plane or to practice a few times and get to know each other. And that way you're comfortable with each other off the ice and on the ice, kind of translating in a way, I think. So we're doing it little by little and making the most of it, but it's a work in progress.
Charlie, this is obviously fun for your family and friends too. What's been their reaction so far, seeing you come up so big in the playoffs?
I think they're just, I know I'm happy to be home with them. I think they're the same way. They find a lot of joy in coming to the games and just watching and just being here and at the Garden and knowing someone out there. So it's special for them, it's special for me. But they're having a great time, I think.
Dukes? Charlie, I know we've asked you this since you got here in late February. What's it like being back? But in this context, what's it like being back? When you drive home, is this hard to believe? Do you pinch yourself?
Yeah, I mean, you just try to stay in the moment, really. Especially playoff time, you always say you can't get too high, you can't get too low, even if you really want to, and it's hard to contain yourself sometimes, and a lot of outside noise that can kind of sway that too. So you just keep a level head. I think we have great leaders in our team who kind of portray that, and it trickles down into us, to our younger guys, and that helps when you have that leadership in that core group that does that stuff. So you can be happy and celebrate, and for the night, but it's back to business tomorrow, and I mean that's only one game. We need 4 of them right now, so we'll just we'll take it in stride here.
Take 2 more.
For both you guys, the significance of winning Game 1. I mean, you lost Game 1 to Toronto, yet still won the series, but nice to win Game 1, isn't it?
Go ahead, you're on ball.
I want to let you jump in. Yeah, it's I just think going into any tournament, since you're younger, they're always told the first game's most important, get you off on the right foot, and I think you had to pick. You want to win that first game, and it was a hard fought one. It was overtime. It's I think that's how it's going to be against this team. They're a great team, so they go in the first round. But no matter what, we win, we lose, we're coming back that next game, and we got to bring it. You can't just think it's going to happen on its own. You got to come back that next one. They're going to be coming to play better. So it's up to us to do that same, and just have that focus and make sure we do that.
Last one in front, on left. This is for either of you. You guys go from the first round right to the second round within 2 days. How did that help you guys, compared to Columbus basically having a 9-day layoff? Well, I think when you play an emotional series like we did against Toronto, it could go either way. You kind of want to ride that same emotion going to the next series, but then again, you realize that you need to bring the same intensity. So that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to be hard right off the bat. I thought that we did accomplish that. Realizing that Columbus had an 8-day layover or whatever how many days they had, and we definitely didn't want them to get the better of us in the first period. So we pushed and brought the same emotion from Game 7, and that I don't think we ever stopped. Obviously, a little push in the second period, but overall, I thought we had a really, really solid game. We were the better team today. So now it's just a matter of realizing that we need to bring that same energy every night.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Sorry. No, I just don't want to trip you.
Mike, go to the bench. Huh? Want me to go to the bench? Yeah.
What? I'm going downstairs. I gotta get my shit.